Now, economic liberalization may have changed the face of India somewhat, but it is the life in the margins that indicates true progress. And when it comes to the physically challenged, the progress is the next to negligible. In fact, they are kept confined to the four walls of their houses because our public areas and transport systems are of no help to them.
30-year-old Suvarna Raj won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in powerlifting and table tennis. That is an easy feat for her, but getting to work every day is a task she finds extremely difficult. We followed her as she tried to board the bus. None stopped for her. Undeterred, she opted for the metro, but couldn't even get onto the platforms.
मुसीबतें तो बहुत आती है. कभी अकेले जाने की सोचे तो कहीं बस स्टॉप एक्सेसिबल नहीं है, हर जगह कहीं मेट्रो एक्सेसिबल नहीं है. हम अगर बस पकड़नी होती है तो हम बस में बिल्कुल चढ़ नहीं पाते जब तक हमें कोई पुश करके बस तक ना पहुंचा पाए. ऐसे ही मेट्रो स्टेशन पे इतनी सारी सीढ़ियां होती है, लिफ्ट कहीं और लगाई जाती है, जब वहां तक जाने में भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है हमें.
Standing at the foot overbridge which has been constructed right next to Nehru Place. Now this foot overbridge is on top of a very busy thoroughfare which connects one part of the road to the other side. Now you can see that this foot overbridge is very amenable, very accessible for wheelchair users. It has a ramp which could be used by wheelchair users. But if we could just pan and show you the entry to this particular foot overbridge, there are these barriers that have been constructed. Now this makes it very difficult for a wheelchair user to maneuver through these barriers, and that really makes it very discouraging for them to even use this. Now how would a wheelchair user then go from this side of the road to the other side of the road when there are no zebra crossings that have been made on the road itself?
The lack of accessible transport forces those disabled to rely on their family members to get to places. Malls, offices and public areas are constructed without keeping the needs of those disabled in mind. Unless equipped with a private customized vehicle, a luxury afforded by few, using public transport proves to be a nightmare.
Transport system is very difficult. It is completely inaccessible. Even the bus transport, in spite of, they have that little logo of accessible. You must have seen that sign, but that doesn't mean that they're really accessible. That's really shameful that they have that logo there, because those buses are not accessible at all.
While huge challenges confront the transport system, there are several curative measures that the government is trying to implement with the newer constructions. While the old buses and metros are out of bounds for those physically disabled, studies to avoid a repetition of the mistakes are being undertaken.
Need to design a flyover, I need to consider what the requirement. The gradient is not suitable. So for that, even if I am designing a subway, I need to consider the disabled persons, and that would mean I provide the slope as smooth as possible.
Infrastructure sensitive to the needs of the disabled will empower them by making education and employment accessible to them, giving them a sense of self-respect. Despite a law that's been passed to this effect, there's a lot that's left to be desired.